Right.
welcome to the
So,
Same Wavelength podcast. I am your host, Morgan Elizabeth, and thank you for joining the wave. I know I didn't have an episode last week, but it was because of the holidays. So happy holidays to everybody watching. Today I have a guest who we haven't really talked in a while. We used to work together, but still friends, still chit chatting it up. This is Jason.
hello.
So, how have you been? How was your holidays?
It's been pretty great. Just been busy working. My job requires me to work a little bit, but luckily we have off on the holidays, so I was able to enjoy my holiday while I could.
That's very nice. I know some places do not.
Yep.
Where I worked, they had you had to work the day before Thanksgiving, but Thanksgiving was completely off.
Yeah, things were pretty sure that's how it was the place we used to work at before.
I think so too. I don't remember quite well, but I think that is how it was before. Did you eat a lot? Go into a food coma or anything?
I did not go to the food coma because I am a real fat. I don't go to food coma that easily, but I did indeed eat a lot.
What you eat? What was your favorite? What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Um, Honestly, I gotta say, probably my aunt's green bean casserole, pretty fucking good. It's got I think it's got the green bean casserole type stuff, but instead of like putting the little like onion things on it, she puts like the crushed up goldfish cookies crackers on it,
What? That sounds
and
amazing.
it's perfect.
My gosh. I didn't do a lot like to eat this year because it was just me and my parents and my brother. But we celebrate like Christmas more with my grandparents up north. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Oh hell yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I always look forward to Thanksgiving because it's just a lot of leftovers in the end, to where I just get food for almost about a week.
That's true.
It's
Don't gotta
great.
worry about spending money on lunch.
Which it's a lot of money nowadays.
Oh yeah. I had PDQ the other day and oh my gosh.
Well,
I
that's gonna drain your bank so fast. I don't know why you do that to
Yeah.
yourself.
It's in the same plaza, same as like Chick-fil-A, but I'd rather get Chick-fil-A than PDQ.
Yeah, the only problem I have with Chick-fil-A is it's always closed on Sundays, and that sucks.
That's why we
It's always
got
on a Sunday.
PDQ.
It's always on a Sunday when I'm craving it too. It's like, why of all days I gotta crave it, and it's on the day it's closed.
I know. And then like it's super crowded Saturday and Monday because they know, oh, it's closing and then it just opened, so it's crazy.
It really is.
This is a tangent. Do you like Racing Canes or have you tried it yet?
I went for the first time. I want to say about 2-3 weeks ago. I'd give it maybe a 7 out of 10. It's good. It's definitely pricey for what it is. Though, granted, for $16, you do get quite a bit. Like I got like a $16 box. I think it was like what, 8 tenders.
Yeah, and then you get like
I
the
haven't.
toast and the fries and the sauce.
Yep. I didn't eat at all that day, so I was really hungry. So I thought I'd get just a decently large meal for it. And yeah, it was all right. After a while, the sauce gets kind of old. Not old, but like it gets kind of almost like acidic almost.
Yeah, I get what you mean. The toast is amazing though.
Oh yeah, no, you can't go wrong with Texas toast.
Oh no.
That's You can't go wrong with that. Any place that serves it, it's like one of the first things you try to eat if you can. So you save it
Yeah.
for last.
I don't remember the last time I went, but my boyfriend keeps saying that if they ever sold just the toast, that's all he would buy. And I don't know if they do.
I mean, there are places that have a very weird like they'll sell it, but they don't tell the public that. Like for example, you probably saw Olive Garden has a thing where if you ask them, you can buy their Parmesan grater, and they can also give you a bunch of
Yeah.
Parmesan blocks too. Yeah, it's like you don't know that, but if you go up and ask them, they'll do it.
That's literally crazy. Like imagine asking Chili's, "Hey, can I have your silverware?" Like just for fun.
How about the silverware part? That's a
Well,
different
not
one.
the
I think that's
silverware, but like I don't know what Chili's has that people are like, "Oh, I really want this from Chili's," or like the Cheesecake Factory or something. I know,
Huh.
like, I will. I mean, not to incriminate myself, but if I went to the Cheesecake Factory, I would sometimes take like one of their dishes home. There's some restaurants that have really nice dishes, and they got like a million of them. So what's one dish gone.
I'm just imagining you like just like after you're done eating, you finish like you clean off your plate, and you just slowly put it like in your purse or your bag or wherever to hide it, and you just walk out with it, and they don't notice a thing or they just don't care.
They probably don't care. They're like, why is this lady taking our dish? What is wrong with her? But you know what? She probably needs it more than us, so go right
And
ahead.
they called you broke.
I mean, I'm eating at the Cheesecake Factory.
Ah, that's high class. What do you mean?
Like, I don't know. Whenever I'm talking about, like, I want to go to the Cheesecake Factory for, like, a birthday party or something, they're like, oh, why there? I mean, it has
Why
everything.
not there?
It has everything.
Their menu is the size of a freaking dictionary.
Exactly.
Why would you not go there? They have so much choices. Great. It's like I think it's pretty pricey though, but like you know what? It's so good variety. It's the whole point of going to restaurants is you want a good variety of food to choose from, and then choose what you want.
Definitely. Even like if I was invited to go out somewhere that I know I'm not gonna eat anything there, I'm probably not gonna go. But if I invite everybody to go to Cheesecake Factory, there's definitely something for everybody.
I mean, hell, I remember last time I went to someone's birthday thing, Cheesecake Factory. It was back when City Walk was still a thing.
Oh, and now it's Rosemary Square.
Yeah, and it sucks. That entire area was so nice.
Yeah.
So, like everyone liked to go there and just kind of walk around, hang out, and do what you want. Like there's a Cheesecake Factory there, and then within walking distance, just go to the theater there, and it was great.
And now the theater's gone.
Yeah, we saw what was it? Last Jedi.
Oh, okay. Dang, it's a while ago.
Yeah, it was mid. It was kind of mid though, not gonna lie. We my friends and I all kind of laughed when we saw Princess Leia just all of a sudden fly towards the ship.
Yeah. I don't yeah.
Spoiler alert if no one's somehow hasn't seen that movie, by the way.
I'm definitely sure people have just heard of it because
everyone I'm pretty sure has heard of it.
Yeah, the last 3 movies were not good. And now they're redoing it apparently.
I feel like, well, I guess we're going another tangent now. I can do that right now.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like a lot of Star Wars media nowadays is just getting drowned out by the mass production of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Andor came out, Andor was one of those things where it was really good, but nobody wanted to watch it because everyone was getting burnt out on all the Star Wars shit coming out.
That's kind of how I felt about it because I haven't seen Andor and I haven't seen like I can't pronounce her name, so if I say it wrong, I'm so sorry. Ahsoka?
Ahsoka?
Yeah, I haven't seen it because I haven't even seen like the Clone Wars or Rebels.
Hold on. I was gonna say, if you don't know how to pronounce her name, you haven't seen the Clone Wars yet.
I haven't.
How have you not seen Clone Wars?
Remember when we were watching The Mandalorian and you literally had to like stop it to show me an episode or something?
Yes. Wait, hold up. You haven't seen the Clone Wars and has your brother told you like go watch it? Has he told you?
He has, but like it's too much. We have too many things on our list to watch. So
understandable, but like when the first like 3 seasons are like Saturday morning cartoon style stuff, so like it's all like quick episodes, like maybe 10, maybe not 10, maybe 15, 20 minutes per episode. It's not really that long.
So like Adventure Time long, you know what I mean?
In a sense, yeah.
Yeah.
But it becomes more serialized after a while because Netflix ended up dropping it, and then not Netflix, Cartoon Network ended up switching over to like late night, and then late night kind of dropped it. Cartoon Network kind of just abandoned it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think Netflix took over for a little bit, and then Disney bought it, and then started doing the last season, which was great, except for one arc. I will say one arc was not the best written wise, but within the last season, it was still really great and definitely a good ending to the show.
The last Star Wars thing I ever watched was Obi-Wan, the Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Yep. That was interesting. That was interesting. It wasn't what I was hoping, but honestly, towards the end of the day, it's like, it's whatever. It came out.
Really? Why do you say that?
The writing was all over the place.
Oh yeah, that's true.
They kill off that one, quote unquote, kill off that one Inquisitor just to bring him back, which I knew was gonna freaking happen because he's still alive in Rebels.
Yeah.
Because it's the same character. I don't know why they would bother trying to fake his death when obviously we see him in a later series.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name. Was it Reva? It was like, I don't know. The one, remember. The one Inquisitor sister. The main one.
I don't remember.
like her whole thing, like her whole character arc was a mess. I mean, it was
Yeah.
cool seeing Vader and Obi-Wan again, fight each other, but then it kind of like makes a little like plot hole where when they meet each other again in episode 4, they kind of imply they haven't seen each other since episode 3.
Yeah. I could see how that is confusing. And like, I don't know. I just liked watching it. I thought it was interesting because I like the prequels more than any of the other series in Star Wars.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'm not like the biggest Star Wars fan. Like I don't have any Star Wars memorabilia, but if someone were to ask me, "Hey, do you want to go see this?" I'll probably say yeah, depending
And I
on
still
my
got that
knowledge
poster
on
you guys
it.
got me for my birthday, by the way.
Good, good.
Yeah, it's still in my room. I'm looking at it right now, actually.
Whoa. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I I don't have that many posters in. Well, I do, but there's not really like movie posters. They're more just like celebrities and art.
Yeah. I just so you know, this poster is still like I haven't taken out the wrapping. I haven't taken out the frame, like not a frame, the cardboard thing it's on, because I'm worried if I do, it's gonna like ruin the poster. So I'm just gonna keep it in there and just have that as its like little like frame and whatnot to keep it in good condition.
It's better than buying
Just
another frame.
well, if I buy a frame, it's a lot. It just makes it a lot more stuff to carry around.
Exactly.
So it's fine the way it is right now.
Yeah, Paulo has his like hanging all around his bed. Like he has a ton. He has some Queen posters. He has like the movie posters. He has a ton of
Oh
shit.
yeah.
Okay. So speaking of like movie and TV show, I just recently watched the Scott Pilgrim show that came out on Netflix, and I want to know if you did too.
I am a big Scott Pilgrim fan, and surprisingly enough, I have not watched it yet. I've been planning to watch it. I have been spoiled on what happens in the show, unfortunately, but I
Oh
definitely do still
no,
plan on watching it.
it's
Um,
really good.
I guess I'm gonna say spoiler alerts in case anyone's hasn't seen it yet and they're listening to this.
Yeah,
I do know that Scott dies within like the first two
yeah,
episodes, I think.
yeah.
Um, and I know at the end Ramona saves him and whatnot,
Mhm.
which from what I know of when he dies, which is with Patel,
Yeah,
Ramona doesn't really know Scott that well, so it does feel like it's kind of weird for her to go out of her way to save him. Now, granted, I just understand it's like this guy didn't deserve to die so quickly, type thing. But from what I've heard, it's like she didn't know him enough to really like be like in love with him to save him yet. So it's kind of weird.
I mean they had
But
they hooked up. I know that doesn't say much, but they hooked up literally like when they first met.
I know people had like there are always gonna be people who have like a big old like problem with the um change in direction of the show.
Oh yeah.
But the creator himself, who was involved with the creation of the show, said if you want to know the original story, or if you want to see the original story, either read the comics or watch the movie. But each individual like thing of the like Scott Pilgrim has been different in some way. So Scott Pilgrim the movie came out before the last chapter or last volume was finished for the comic. But Edgar
Oh,
Wright was working with the creator of Scott Pilgrim to make the movie, and so they kind of decided, hey, let's add some changes here and there to make it somewhat different, so people can still have a new experience. Who read the comics can watch the movie and still have a different experience.
that's cool.
And of course, with a movie, you're very constricted to time. So
Yeah,
where if you don't meet that like requirement, like if it goes too far in, you're going to have too much content, but not people are going to want to watch it because it's way too long. And also at the time, data is still like a thing where if you have too much data.
that's
But
true.
with comics, you can go as long as you want until the creator dies, basically.
Yeah. My thing
But
is like when I saw like the movie Scott Pilgrim, like I think it might have been this year, and then the show came out like I think a month ago or like a couple weeks
okay.
ago. Um, but I have never seen anything like Scott Pilgrim before watching it. So I don't know if you have like a movie or a TV show that you've seen that you're like, oh, this is kind of like Scott Pilgrim. Like if you would
Um,
suggest something, because I have no idea. I think it's so different from a lot of other stuff
it
that's out.
is, and that's why I really can't say I recommend. anything if you want like I can't think of anything about my head similar to it because it is its own thing.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, granted, again, it's just like if you like a movie, watch the TV show
Mm-hmm.
because the show's going to be its own thing, and I like how it's animated too, so they actually get to do more things creatively.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The animation's so good.
Yep.
It is so good.
Um, I mean, yeah, I mean, I really can't recommend anything else on the top of my head at least. I'll probably think something after the podcast, knowing myself, I know myself, but
You'll like text me and be like, "Oh, I remember this," and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
yeah, yeah, that'll probably be it. Like within like maybe a day or two after thinking about like, oh, there it is.
I'm like, okay.
I know.
Have like after watching the show, I was talking to my boyfriend and I was like, could you imagine if they made something that's like Scott Pilgrim but with D&D, like Dungeons and
Well,
Dragons?
I can kind of think of it like that. Where so, Dean, how much do you know about D&D?
Very limited, but I was added into a Discord server recently to join a D&D game. So my first one will be coming up next year. So
Oh hell yeah, nice.
I need to learn some stuff. So if you have any advice, I will take anything.
I have a lot. I do recommend if it is it going to be a online tabletop thing.
Yeah, I think so.
So I'm guessing they're probably going to have you set up a account on Roll20. A lot of people do virtual tabletop on Roll20 for D and
Uh-huh.
D.
Uh-huh.
I recommend doing something on D&D Beyond. It's
Mhm.
a pretty good like starter for making a character because it kind of like shows you how to make a character. It gives you all like the base like characters, like all the races, classes, and whatnot, to where you kind of get an understanding of how to make your character.
Mhm.
And then you have basically like a virtual character sheet on there. Now you also might be able to make a character sheet on Roll20. Might be easier that way. You can just do all your stuff on there, but usually D&D Beyond's kind of a good way, just getting a hang of making your character on there. Now, of course, if you don't know a lot of like the base stuff on there too, it's good to have like a friend to help you out, like kind of guide you through it and
I
kind of
was
go over all the rules.
so what I was told was someone at my work is making the server. And then he's adding everybody that said that they want to play. I told him that I want to be just a spectator right now. But then I was tagged along by my friend to be like his sidekick character. I don't know if
All
that's
right,
a
that's
real
cool.
thing,
Yeah,
but
no. So yeah, is he going to be the DM or the host?
my friend who made the server is going to be the DM, and then
Okay.
my friend that I'm his sidekick is going to be a character, I imagine.
Yeah, yeah, that can be pretty normal for DMs where they can have like a guest character come on or like have like a character they kind of control as well as a like a NPC or as a player character who can control it later on.
Oh my gosh,
Um,
I'll be an
that way it
NPC.
makes it easier. Yeah, that way it makes it easier for a player to kind of get into it and kind of learn the basics of it before they get thrown right into a nightmare hellscape that it is D&D.
Have you
But it's fun.
played
I
a
love.
lot?
I have played a lot and I haven't played in a while and I really miss it. The only thing that's really been able to scratch my itch on it is Baldur's Gate 3.
Yes, I
But
keep
even
hearing
then, with
about that.
the only problem I have with Baldur's Gate 3 is that since it's already like it, you can do a lot in Baldur's Gate 3, but with it, it's still like kind of confined to being a video game and all stuck behind coding and specific paths you have to go down.
Mhm.
What I like about D&D, where it's a group of friends, is that the DM can kind of just have like a basis for a storyline he wants to do, or have like a story he wants you guys to go through, but either improve on it or maybe even change it up a bit depending on what you guys do within that session or within the game itself.
When
And a lot
you
of D
play,
and D is
oh,
improv, believe it or not.
yeah, that's what I like because I watched a YouTube channel play D&D recently, and I was interested in it, but I was nervous to be asked to ever join because a lot of people at my work are D&D people. Like I have a couple people who like I know one person. She just completed a 4-year game,
Yeah.
and now
Uh,
I think she wants to be a DM. And I was like, whoa.
yeah. A lot of sessions can take a while. There's this really big D&D group called Critical Role. Everyone who's in a D&D space knows who they are.
Mhm.
Um, they've been doing D&D for years, and before they made the show, they've been doing this. They've been doing this like their first series, I guess you could say, or season was before the show even existed. Like it started all like you kind of start the series in a kind of middle or towards like somewhat the beginning of their campaign,
Mm-hmm.
and it's an emotional roller coaster. And of course, all of the people on there are professional voice actors as well.
Oh,
Like
that's
Matthew
cool.
Mercer is the DM.
Whoa.
Travis Willingham plays a barbarian. His wife Laura Bailey plays a ranger, and all their friends who are also again all voice actors play different characters as well. And it's really cool watching their thing go on. And of course, their episodes can range from like 2 to 3 hours, almost 5 hours, because like each session has a thing, and they have a little break within the middle of the episode to kind of do their own thing, go to the bathroom, do what they got to do,
Yeah.
and go back to the story. And it's definitely cool watching their like or listening or watching their show for a while, and then kind of growing up with those characters for a bit, and then when the series ended, it feels very emotional, very good.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it is with D&D. Once you have your own session, it's basically like you feel what they feel like. It's like, okay, I understand why they feel emotional when a character they got attached to. They don't play as all it that were being conveyed through with is the DM just talking through their voice, and watching that character die is like emotional. It's like, yeah, after a while you get attached to these characters that are just written by your friend who is making a story for you.
Have you ever been DM or have you been like a character in your
Uh,
campaigns?
Both. So I tried to DM a campaign for a bit, but it was still like between scheduling with me and my friends, and I was still relatively new to DMing. I just couldn't get like a. I was basically making up the story as I was going along with it,
Right.
and after a while, like I had like the space between our sessions got bigger and bigger to where I just couldn't keep up with it, and then all my friends started getting different schedules. Um, I wasn't able to make it on time because I was just tired from work. Because back I worked for a different company,
Mm-hmm.
um, and it was hell. So I was like, okay, I want to either put a hold on DMing for a bit or just give up right now. But we still had fun for what we did.
So is it an unfinished campaign or did you still finish it?
It's unfinished. We left
Oh.
off on a cliffhanger.
Ooh. That'd be fun to
really
join back in.
It would be cool. The problem is we also had a newer guy who was still very confused on what's going on, and the rest of the people were kind of also fairly new, but they also had played D&D before. So it was kind of a mess having to go over everything all the time.
Yeah, I heard from a friend at work that he was in a D&D club in high school, and when people would just randomly join the club, it was kind of hard to like fit them into the story in a way, and then those people also just mess it up. So I could see how it can be
Yeah.
complicated.
I've been through a few groups. I remember for a while, I think back during the like end of my high school years, I started doing online LFG looking for game D&D sessions,
Mm-hmm.
and I found this one session for a while, and it was actually really fun. I made a Warforged Bard. It's like a machine or like a robot. It's powered by magic,
Mm-hmm.
and we went on for a while, and then eventually the DM kind of just dropped off the face of the earth. He just disappeared out of nowhere.
Oh.
And then we kind of just stopped having to do D&D sessions. The group eventually died out, and then one day in the server, I got a little thing pop up in there where the DMs out of nowhere put a message in there, deleted it, and then left.
Oh.
And then eventually
Mysterious.
after that, yeah, it was so weird. Again, the guy had like a kid. He had like a ex-wife who was a psychopath.
Oh.
There's a lot of stuff going on. So I was like, who knew? Like, who knows what's going on with that? But
Yeah.
it's whatever. So just in the past, all that's happened. I haven't talked to that group in a while because a lot of people kind of just disappeared from that server. They all disconnected from it. I eventually left from it too because I didn't want to just have it sitting there for a while, taunting me that I can't play D&D for a while.
Right.
But no, it's been it was really fun. It's definitely still a fun experience, even though the guy kind of just abandoned us and left. It was still fun being part of it all and be part of the experience. There's all the good memories with it. I actually still have a lot of the artwork I have made for it, but like I say artwork, but it's more like just the character I made from it and drew and whatnot.
That's cool. My gosh. Now you're making me excited, and I'm not even like I don't even know when it starts, and I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I'm glad. Yeah, it's definitely a fun experience.
I'll let you know about it.
I'm glad that D&D has become a big thing. I know Stranger Things helped out a lot with that, but
Oh, definitely.
I I got into Stranger. I got into that Stranger Thing. I got into D&D before Stranger Things even came out,
Mm-hmm.
and so it was definitely cool seeing like a peek in it. And it's definitely becoming a lot more mainstream than it used to be, which is great.
Do you think Stranger Things did a good job at like oh my god, like showing how D&D is played and like the strategy and shit?
Not really, because it usually always shows like just them encountering the big baddie,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't really see a lot of the game actually being played. You see like the dice rolling and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you do like within like most recent season, you do see them like manage to beat Vecna,
Mm-hmm.
which is a usual big baddie for a lot of campaigns because he's like the ultra lich king.
Yeah.
Um, but I definitely will say it is it's very bare bones with what they show of D&D. But granted, you can't really go too in depth, or else you'll go like it's just a very long, like drawn out scene of someone playing D&D,
Yeah.
which for a show like Stranger Things you really can't do.
Have
I
you
will
seen
definitely say,
oh,
oh, go ahead.
have you seen the Dungeons and Dragons movie?
I have, yes, that was actually a really fun movie to watch,
I haven't
and it
seen
was
it, but I hear it's really good.
yeah, it's definitely a really fun movie. Even if you're not a D&D fan, it's just a fun movie in general. It's not like some corporate throw out like, hey, we got a brand, let's throw it out and make something out of it. Like there has been lately a lot of that.
Yeah.
It was just a fun movie. It was really good to watch, and especially if you're a D&D fan, you see a lot of things like in there. I was like, oh, that's cool.
I
You
love
see
when that
characters do
happens.
this, that you would see like yeah, it's and like, you can see characters like when they fail a spell, it's like oh yeah, they failed a spell check, and you see what it's like. It's almost like looking into the imagination of someone playing a D&D campaign.
That's cool. Like brought to
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
So how do you imagine Scott Pilgrim could be like a D&D thing? Because that's been on my mind since I watched the show. I was like, that could probably happen, but how would it happen if it could?
If it could, it would have to be either taking place in the world of the campaign or take place in the real world and then it transitions into what their story is like inside the thing. But the
Hmm.
problem with that is it's kind of hard to do that without making just a D&D show like Critical Role where you just watch people play on tabletop and kind of just play by ear and whatnot.
Yeah.
I will say there's a series on Amazon Prime show, whatever the hell it is, called Vox Machina, which is based on the campaign from Critical Role.
Oh, really? That's cool.
And all the people from that show voiced their characters.
That is so cool.
And so you actually get to see all of the settings and characters from that campaign come to life in that show. And a lot of the stuff that you didn't get to see, because back when they did their campaign, they started it, the only thing people really got to know from it was like tech. Actually, it was Vines back then. It was still Vines and Twitter
Oh,
posts and Instagram posts. That's how long
wow.
ago they started their campaign, by the way. Yeah, back when
Wow.
Vine was still alive.
Jeez. R.I.P.
And yeah, and so that became very popular because people who knew the voice actors like, oh my god, these voice actors are doing a campaign for D&D. Let's bring it to a show, and they did. And then a lot of the parts you couldn't see are now being animated on the TV show, and the show's great.
Is it still
It's
going
definitely
on?
yeah. I want to say season 2 either came out earlier this year or last year. Well, let me see. Vox Machina. Yeah, it's called Legend of Vox Machina. It's a TV show on Amazon Prime Video, and they have. I want to say they have. Am I going crazy? Where is it?
Is
Oh, they do. Okay, cool. They have 2 seasons.
there a
Okay,
third
it
up
came
and
out
coming?
last year.
Hmm.
I wouldn't see why not. It's a very popular show. It is mature because not yeah, it's mature because 18 plus because of their swearing and whatnot and violence.
Yeah.
But it's still definitely a great show, great story. And if they follow the story of the show, they did the thing. But the DM Matt Mercer, who's also Matt Mercer is also in charge of creating the show. And I want to say this entire thing started off as a Kickstarter as well. and I managed to get Amazon to pick them up as a show, and it's been very successful.
That's good. Very happy for people that I don't know, but that is very happy. That is very cool to learn.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Okay, so I have some stuff to do, and I don't want to take up your entire time. But I
Yeah, go ahead.
do want to ask you. It's kind of like this exercise called Rose, Thorn, and Bud, where the rose is something good or positive that's happened in your life or like in the past like week or something. Then a thorn is a challenge that you have to overcome. Then the bud is something you're looking forward to. So I want to start backwards with something that you're looking forward to, like in the next month or like for the next holiday. Is there anything you're looking forward to coming up for you?
Um, Not within the next holiday, but I definitely say next year. My friends and I are planning on a road trip to Cedar Point. It's a
Ooh.
theme park up in Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually went with a bunch of friends in September to Universal Studios, and other than three of the friends that my three close friends I've known for a while since childhood, plus a bunch of online friends I've known for almost 4 years now, we finally met in person at Universal Studios and had a great time. And now we're gonna have a couple more people join us as well to Cedar Point. So
Why
I'm really looking
Cedar
forward to
Point?
that. That's just a theme park. The roller coasters there, and it's also like a new place we haven't been to.
Have you ever been to
I
Ohio? Like ever?
No, I haven't. My first time.
Woo! That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it and excited to see my friends again. And a couple more friends I have online that we're gonna meet up in person again over there. That's gonna be a cool experience.
That's exciting. My bud, for the next holiday, it's just I'm finally seeing my grandparents after like probably 8 or 6 months since I last seen them because I've just been busy with work. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
And then in the next year, I was told by a friend that I might be able to use their studio for my podcast. So I'm very much looking forward to that one.
Nice. It's an upgrade.
I know. Like it just started. People, I love the feedback I'm getting back from my friends. It's very nice and touching. Um, and then now keeping the backwards notion. What is a challenge you had to overcome recently? If you want to talk about it, you don't have to. If you don't want to.
Um, just lately, just been having to pay off a lot of bills. It's also the slow season because where I work, it's a very seasonal job.
Mm-hmm.
Let's give you some backstory. Where I work is like a water sports company up in Riviera,
Okay.
and during the off season, we make a lot of money because people are either back home, go back out of state, or the weather is just crap. So the season's really slow.
Yeah.
And I had to get a wisdom tooth removed. I had to fix my car. I got to fix it again. Just upon bills are just a lot of things I had to deal with right now. But over time, I'll eventually pay it off because I'm going to get back into the busy season again to hopefully be able to make enough money to pay off all my stuff and then also afford to go up to Cedar Point and visit my aunt up in Washington State.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
My challenge as of late has been just my job right now is really getting on my nerves. Just the management has changed. Like
Oh
the
no.
management changed in August, and you know how that is.
Yep.
So it's been very challenging to like not let it get to me, but it has, especially with the season going on right now. Like I don't know. It's very hard to get into without saying names and getting angry because it's like it's so annoying when the managers think that they are so right about everything because it worked in the past place. It's a
But
different
yep.
place with different people. It's not going to work everywhere. They just don't understand.
Exactly. It's dumb where what might work in one place not going to work in another place. It's always different no matter where you go. Every single store has its own system. That's how it was where we used to work.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, oh, by the way, have you been visiting at all? To
To where we
have you
used to
visited?
work.
Yeah, have you visited there at all or no?
It's very rare that I do. Like, I'll go in for like one thing and then leave. What about you?
Yeah. I go like almost like once a month just to see how everyone's doing, see if I recognize any of the people now. Which, by the way, they have so many new faces there now. It's crazy.
I think I only know
Um,
two people who are still there.
yeah, I mean, I still go over to the pharmacy again just to say hi.
Yeah.
Um, I
Is
also keep
she
in touch with
is our
her.
manager still there?
She is. Yeah, and she's she's going through it. She's definitely going through it.
Yeah,
I just hope she eventually gets out of there. She either leaves or gets a better store or just gets a better treatment in general.
definitely. That store was
Um,
crazy. It was my
it
first
was.
job, but it's still like even just thinking back on it, I mean, I met you. I met my boyfriend there. Um, but it's still like everything that happened there was very like weird. Very weird experience.
Yeah, no, it's especially during COVID. That was definitely a
Yes.
wild. That was a
Yeah.
wild thing, which is still crazy to me that I joined in 2019 and more than half of my time there was us going through COVID.
Yeah. Did you have any interest in pharmacy when you joined it?
Initially, yes, I did actually. I wanted to kind of get into pharmacy because I like medicine. I like doing stuff like that, and it's cool to kind of just learn all the medicine. Which I still, by the way, I still all my knowledge I have of pharmacy medications, I still have knowledge of, and I bring it over to where I work now.
Mhm.
Because, for example, someone gets hurt, or they have to, like, their fucking like leg is swollen from a jellyfish thing. Like, okay,
Yeah.
take this to help with the swelling, and then take this for the sting to help calm it down. That's it.
I got into
Wait
the
for
pharmacy because someone left and they really need people for the COVID stuff. And they're just
Yep.
like, "Hey, do you want to join?" I said, "Yeah, it's a pay raise." It was fun. Like I liked getting to know everything, but it was
Mm-hmm.
definitely not a field that I would have stayed in. And I didn't.
Yeah, I
But
probably would have stayed in if the conditions were better, but of course that's pharmacies all over the country at that time were just getting swamped. It was like one of the worst times to be a like part of the pharmacy.
yeah.
Um, it's crazy how it started off as just the guy at the desk who'd help out with all the appointments, and eventually ended up being the guy giving the shots.
Yeah.
That was wild.
I remember, oh my god, I'll always remember this. And I told some people that are in my family, didn't a lady try to get the shot, but the doctors were refusing her to get it, and we had to stay next to her with an EpiPen?
Yep.
Yeah.
Back when the Johnson and Johnson virus came out, a virus vaccine came out, there were a lot of people having side effects immediately.
Mhm.
Not immediately, but like people either over exaggerating, fainting from needles, or just people having reactions. We had to have an EpiPen like next to the thing at all times. So if someone was having a reaction, this one guy
Yeah.
fainted because of the needle,
Yeah. I remember that.
and he just face planted right there. But he was fine apparently. But that's the amount of like close calls 911 we've had
Yeah.
during the J&J vaccine was crazy.
I remember I went to another pharmacy after I left where we used to work, and just the pharmacist would always tell me how like the things they hear about the vaccines. And I'll just be
Mm-hmm.
like, "Okay, well, I'm just a pharmacy technician. I really have no interest on putting needles in people or hearing certain politic things with the vaccines from my pharmacists, the people who are supposed to, give out the vaccine to these people."
Yeah, I'm just there to work. I'm just here for the paycheck. I'm here to
Yep.
work. I'm here to learn a little bit.
Yeah.
If I want to go to pharmacy school, I will. But honestly, towards the end of the day, I'm not going to go to pharmacy school. I'm just here for the paycheck. This is not going to be my career for my life. I'm going to do something better with my life. Thank you.
Yep. Yep. It was a very weird time, and I'm glad that I'm out of there and that, oh my gosh, that it was so weird.
Yeah, again, I guess you can say this is. I guess you want to move over to the Rose, where
Yeah.
I guess it was Roses were happy where with what's going on. Um, I'm happy where I work now. I'm glad I work where I work because I don't feel like it's a job. I mean, it's still a job, but I don't feel miserable going in every day.
That's good.
I don't feel depressed. I don't want to. I don't feel like I want to go home and sleep the rest of my life away. I actually enjoy where I work. It's a family-owned company, so it's the staff. Staff people are small, but everyone knows each other. Everyone's like family to each other. Everyone's friends. We go to each other's houses after work sometimes to hang out, have a beer, maybe eat a little bit. and it's great. And I'm glad I finally found a place where I'm happy where I work. Like, granted, the drive is far. The drive is definitely a far drive, but in the end, it's worth it. They pay well. They try to get me jobs to help me pay, help get me paid, and they take care of me. That's where I like where I work.
How long
I'm
have
glad they
you
do.
worked there since? Like, yeah, how long have you
Um,
worked there?
I worked there since April. I started working April 15th. Um, I used to
Dang.
work for. I'm gonna say this. I don't care about the company, but I'm gonna say right now, Cheney Brothers.
Okay.
I worked there after I quit Publix. I worked for Cheney Brothers, and honestly, I was miserable working there.
Yeah.
Um, I worked as a selector. We're the ones who make the pallets for the people. We put the stuff on the pallets depending on
Mhm.
where they go, and it was all night shifts. It was always like from 6 o'clock to almost 3 o'clock in the morning, almost 4 o'clock in the morning. And after a while, I could barely see the sun because I was sleeping all day because I was tired from working, and the management was awful. It was terrible. I only worked from maybe November to December. Actually, I just should have quit like December 31st. I
That's
went to
what
New
I
Year.
did. That's what I did at the job before where I am now. I worked at the PBI airport. It
Mm-hmm.
sucked. It was so bad.
Yep, I remember that.
I
And yeah, I actually spent the New Year just saying I'm not coming back to work. I'm not coming back.
yeah.
I
I
I should have told him like, hey, I'm quitting. I'm not coming back. He's like, okay.
I went in for my
So
shift.
yeah,
I wrote like a whole like resignation letter. I put down my badge and my name tag and everything, and I left. And I didn't get a call from them for like 2 weeks. Like, oh, so we just found your letter. Can you explain more of why you quit? And I did. I told them, well, I was harassed. You gave me a 12-hour shift with no break, and I went home at 1 a.m.
yeah. You should never let companies force you to think you have to do 2 weeks notice. No,
No.
if you are working for a company and it's not working out and they are terrible, do not be afraid to just up and leave if you have to. Of course, always make sure you have a backup plan. You never want to just leave, because I made that mistake of just leaving and I was unemployed for almost 4 months. I almost ran out of money,
Yeah.
but I managed to eventually find my friend ended up giving me a job there because he had a friend who worked there. And ever since then, I've been happy where I work, and I make almost 3 times the amount of money I made back at where you and I both worked. It's
That's
great.
good. That's really good to hear.
And
My
yeah,
so that's your rose that you really like where you work, which is awesome. Like you really should like what you're doing. My
yeah,
rose is probably I think I talked about it in the last episode, but I celebrated my 3-year anniversary with my boyfriend who's also your friend. And it's the longest relationship I've ever had. And it's just something like I feel very very lucky with the person I'm living my life with and the people in my life, as well as like the friends I've made at where I work. Like I don't like where I work right now, but I do like where I work because of the people there. Like they make it worth it to stay.
that's nice. That's good.
Yeah. But thank you for chit chatting. I might end the episode here.
Yeah, little
Um
42 minutes in about, yeah.
yeah. I love when it's not I love when it's not super long and it's not super short. Like I love when it's perfectly in the middle.
Well, I tell me you
Great.
want to do a 3-hour podcast? Come on, what are you, a rookie?
Wait a minute. Like maybe not right now. Maybe not right now. Like down the road for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It'd be Pablo's podcast first. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? You got to beat his first.
Oh, what are you talking about? He's there. Oh, speaking of podcast, he's my next guest.
Oh my god! Wow.
Yeah, it's exciting. But thank you for listening to us chit chat. Thank you for joining me, Jason. It was very nice to catch
Thank you
up
for
with
having me
you.
on. It's great talking to you again. It's been a while.
I know. I was texting you and I was like, wow, the last time we ever messaged each other was my birthday.
Well, I feel like no, we've talked to each other before. Like after that, like I think I messaged you once on Discord, like talk about how they ruined Stitch,
Yeah.
and I didn't like elaborate on that. That was just it.
Yeah. And I was just like, yeah. You sent me like very random messages. And it's like, okay, it's cool to see that you're still around.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm still alive.
Sometimes I worry if I hear literally nothing from anybody. I'm like, whoa, something's going on.
Yeah, yeah, it's that's part of life, I guess.
Yeah. But thank you again for joining.
Yeah, thank you for
Um,
having me on.
yeah. So, okay, I'm gonna let us all go. I'm excited for the next episode with my boyfriend, and then I'm also excited for the last episode of this year before next year, which is with another guest. And it's gonna be awesome.